What's going on, everybody? Christian from Treasure Town here, and I've got over $10,000 of coins that I'm about to unbox across a couple of different packages. They're really going to span a wide variety. I had to open up a couple of them. I'm filming this after I've opened a couple of them that needed to get into one of my auctions like the next day. But we're going to take our time on some of the great unboxings. We've got a lot of crown size silver from around the world, a lot of Mexican coins, an interesting English coin hoard, Roman coins. I think that you'll find something exciting, and I just enjoy so much opening package after package. There's always some great pickups, and yeah, let's just dive in. I have, I'm like anticipating opening, and it'll be really fun. And here we've got the first of the batch. I'll make an intro, but I'm just getting this because I have a show tomorrow. This is a huge package, and I'm going to try to get a bunch of it into that show. We've got 1 and 2 interesting cardboard packed coins that I think came in from Austria, maybe Germany. And then we've got some epic Nepalese types. I paid up a bunch for these ones, and then some more affordable mohurs. I think I paid like 11 on those, maybe $5 for those. And these are really small, maybe $12 but quite old, and really not something that is too accessible. So very pleased, and we'll start opening things. I think we'll probably start with this, then get to the big box, and then take a look at the mohars. But the video won't end at that point. We still have another 4 or 5 packages at the post office that I'm also going to be cracking open. So here's what we have, and we actually got 6 total packages. So 3 more came in after the fact, and we're going to, I guess, go group by group here. My thought is the first one, some beautiful coins, bunch of different civilizations represented, and I've already inventoried it. King Louis the First, he would have been, I think it was Hungary, Croatia, and parts of Poland. So we got a couple of deniers of his, which very, very interesting. They have what's called the Saracen head, and a Byzantine double cross on the reverse. So pretty neat. We have some Polish-Lithuanian. They would have been super strong. At this point, I believe that would have been around the time the 30 Years' War was kicking off. We have Lyondalders from 1639, a Dutch Republic coin, and a couple of different dates as well. So 1638, that one is really pretty, 1651. And then we also had, I think, 28 Stuber, a German states, the city of Emden. So trying to get some of that crown size stuff. We also had a couple of these interesting Croatian Grosso. So I find those, it's not I played water polo in college with some fantastic, wonderful Croatian guys. I don't know quite as much about their history, more on the crown size, big 5 franc subalpine republic. Then we got a couple of these French states. They're 12th écus. They were not too cheap. Duchess Anne-Marie Louise from Doms. So I think we got a handful of those. And then to round out, we had a nice Siliqua of Gratian in the Western Roman Empire, and then 2 Roman Republican denarii. So that's prior to Julius Caesar and his kind of imperatorial phase, and then moving into the empire. We had 2 separate groups of Nepalese types. So the first was a handful of these Nepalese Surendra Bikram Shah. I learned a little bit about their SE dating, which I think is like 78, I think 78 years behind. So when they say 1792, it means 1870. So some of these were a little bit more modern than I thought, but I think still pretty interesting. We also, from a separate collection, bought a ton of these. These are just beautiful. Paid up for some Bahadur Shah in the Revolutionary time frame. So it says 1710, but that's like 1788 or so. Revolutionary War in America. Beautiful. And then we also have some of these very small 1790s and 1800s silver dams. So pretty neat. Complemented by some better condition and interesting paisas as time goes on. Paid low double digits a coin on these ones. It's just not something that I see too often, so I was excited to get those, offer them to collectors. I also should pull in, maybe we can pull a stack, or really pull a few stacks of these. These are Thai baht coins with some interesting chop marks from their circulation in Asia, and they feature King Rama V on them. Very historic, and it's interesting, with those chops. That one's a little bit toned, it's a good design. I like the elephant head, and it has a lot of kind of Southeast Asian themes. We also had a nice mix of Spanish, seemed like a mini collection that all got slabbed. Spanish pesetas, 5 pesetas, so 1875, 1876. We see Alfonso as he, ages over time. There we see him, he gets the beard in 1883, and then by 1885, hasn't grown out the beard. I think he gets assassinated, and his baby son, Alfonso the 13th, gets his coin, and there's like the baby to young boy transition as shown on the coins. So some interesting Spanish silver. I think I paid something like 30% more than melt, so I certainly could not have bought those coins for melt and then graded them myself. So I thought that there was actually some decent arbitrage there, if that makes sense, in terms of how I thought about buying the items. And then we had some more kind of graded highlights. We have some nice, slightly higher dollar Mexican coins. So, a chop marked 8 reals from the Zacatecas mint. This one is, I think PI is that. I think it's Potosi, but I could be wrong. And then Gio Guanajuato with over date 88/7. We also have some chop marked Bolivian 8 reals. Beautiful, tons of chop marks on that one. Really, really pretty. Similar here, we have a little bit of rim damage, but I couldn't tell if that's was from being up against some kind of Chinese dollar. It seems vaguely familiar of a design, 1791. And then we have a couple more of the, some chopped. That one is awesome. It's like a cup, and it's super, super nice condition. Chopped and chopped. 8 reals. We also got some interesting Hoard find coins. So this is from the little Busby Hoard. I think I paid like a little under $300 for it. Beautiful Marcus Aurelius denarius. Here we have a Colkirk Honorius siliqua. We got Honorius. We got a couple of Honoriuses, but there are also a couple of rarer rulers. There is going to be Arcadius, not so rare, but still interesting. And these I'll hope to retail like in the mid $100 range. Kind of depends on the specific one. We had an older Arles mint, Constantius, thanking for 30 years, praying over 40. But then we have some Usurper Magnus Maximus siliqua. I was so pumped about that. Ended up with 2 of those. So basically they would have been found in various parts of Britain. They would have then been excavated. They have some laws over there where, you find a big group of coins, often you can keep them. They just need to do a little bit of archaeological search documentation. And so they've done just that with all of those. And so we know a ton about the historical context in which they were found, which is interesting. Obviously some coins sit around for a long time in collections. Others, like those were recent finds, and they have a great set of laws over there. And then right here we have some fantastic Philippines. This was from the U.S. When they were a Commonwealth after the Spanish-American War, 1907. We strike a bunch of these coins, send them over to the Philippines where they circulate. A ton of them end up getting dumped into the Manila Bay. I believe about 3 million of them. I'm not sure. I assume that many have not been recovered to this day. But Philippines, these were part of this collection. Apparently maybe only cost $2 at one point. And these would have been cleaned after having been dumped to the bottom of the sea. It makes sense to go down and dive and grab some coins off the bottom of the ocean floor, try to get them back. Back then, might not have been making too much, as clearly they were only selling for $2. But now, I hope I could send these to NGC, get them certified, and preserve that history, make sure that they're attached, because it's great to have the consigner's slip right here. A little tougher if it's going to be, splitting it apart, I could say, but it's would definitely want to get those in the NGC certification. Another really interesting type of coin that I did want to highlight here that came in, we got some fantastic Japanese bean money. So you might be familiar with some of the Bu and some of the Shu. Well, we got some really nice chunky bean money. These would have been in between the copper and pure silver coins. Kind of the change in between them. They're often lower percentage silver alloy types. And I think I paid like in the mid 30s on these bigger ones. I have some smaller ones, but I didn't want to just show you, however many, maybe 50 or so that I picked up. And then last but not least, this stack of world coins is going to bring us out Weimar and getting near Nazi Germany, 1933 Reichsmark, graded by ANAX. We have a Danzig Gulden, 1923. I'm not sure if this is of the Free State of Danzig. I'm not sure if that's better. One of the reasons I bought these, though, were these magnificent Napoleon's defeat huge 3-mark coins. And then we also had this really interesting Bremerhaven 3-mark, just beautiful. And we had a Carl Zeiss proof type. And then I think we'll wrap up here with, again, a couple more, some details, chop marked, an earlier 61/51 Guanajuato, chop marked Unk, and then a chop marked 1805 in pretty good shape, along with this Zacatecas 1920 straight grade AU50 peso. So I think a pretty good mix here. It's kind of the type of thing that just comes across the desk. You can't wait to talk about it, and so that's exactly the situation here. Hope you enjoyed. I'll be updating you as I get any more groups going forward, and pumped that we were able to make this video happen.
Thanks for watching the video. Make sure to head on over to treasuretown.com and sign up for our email list to stay up to date on everything that's happening, whether it's auction updates, exciting new inventory drops, coin collecting news, or general informational resources. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on another one.